Today, I'm going to be showing you the secrets of Gen Z trance, Mishloop, DJ HEARTSTRING, Narcissus style stuff. I made this template that you heard in the intro that we're going to be breaking down. Made this using my core trance pack. The link's at the top of the description on my website. It's the ultimate pack for this style of trance. It's got vocals, synth loops, MIDI, audio, snare, literally everything you need. Percussion loops, even some serum presets, some break beats, plus a ton of Ableton templates and synth kits as well. Links at the top of the description. Thanks for the support, guys, and let's get started. Alright, so the first thing about this style of trance is it's a little faster. We're up at 150 BPM, right? But if you look at a lot of these tracks that people really love from these guys, it is a little bit faster, and I think it gives it more of like a chic. It's like the slower you take the trance, like let's just take this down to 128 BPM. It just gets more like poppy and kind of like corny, but then you bring it up to 150. And yeah, I think there's something very stylish and sleek there. Now, the other secret here is leads like this. As you can see, what we're doing here is we're just playing these really simple notes, just straight quarter notes. It's like a simple analog patch, you know, just two saw waves and then a bit of unison and vibrato. And then the trance gate. So if we turn that off, right, so you can hear that gives a lot of motion to the sound and allows you to create like a simpler, almost like a pad sort of melody, which is going to glide really well over your chord progression. Like there's a lot of synergy there, but then you add the rhythm. And now it kind of has a bit more groove. And yeah, they use this sound a lot. And you can do it really easily in Ableton without having to have any plugins. If you just take a utility here, get the shaper, draw a shape like this. The cool thing is that you could do like any shape, you know? Like we could even like change this a little if we want to. Right, it's not that hard. And then you just map it onto the gain. Play with these settings a little bit, and there you go. We got a little bit of echo. You can see though what's happening if we turn this off. And then on, it's very subtle. It's a bit of stereo widening. By taking it down really slow like this and then putting it on the ping pong mode, you can actually use this literally as a Haas effect to just spread the sound out. We got a little bit of reverb, a little bit more reverb as well, and then just a side chain. Then we've got this pad. So this is another secret with this style of trance, right? It's just having like your bass line is really the chord progression, and then your pad is more just like you can hear musical stuff that isn't going to clash with it, but it's not going to be the same thing. I think it gets, again, going back to like trying to make this a little bit more chic, a little more stylish, and not just like, you know, on the nose 2010s kind of slower pop commercial trance. No hate on that, but also, like, I know if you're watching this video, that's not what you're trying to make. Well, this is the secret. The more kind of, like, little things like this you can add to where your brain is obviously hearing all of this in the same key. But it's, like, clearly hearing this stay on the same chord and then change to this really epic chord at the end, right? You can kind of just give more depth to your track because it just isn't just, like, everything's playing the same thing. Like, it's almost like the more time it would take to digest it is like how you're essentially going to give it more depth, right? So now for this sound, what we're doing here is we got wavetable. I got this SYS8 comb and then just a sine wave. But the sine wave has some FM. A bit of shimmer unison. Here's without it. With it, pretty important for the sound. So let's go ahead and just turn this all off. And then I'll show you and get rid of that. So here's what the sound sounds like dry. Then we add a little bit of erosion, which really helps it sound a bit more like lo-fi and crunchy. And that's another thing too, is like this trance is kind of getting back to that real early trance techno sort of sound. So like any way that you can make it feel a little vintage, I think helps too, like with the erosion. Bit of reverb, high pass, a little high-end boost in the like high highs up there. a bit of grain delay. So you can do that if you want to. And then I think it's just this redux. And then a bit of sidechain. Then we have our kick. So another one of the secrets to this style of trance is having a very high tune kick. If you look at this, it's at +5. Like for a lot of kicks, that would be like a little bit too high. But you can hear this one just sits really well with the bass line. And if we bring it down low, see, it's not quite sitting as well. So you just want these high techno sort of kicks like this. And then also not over processing it too. We really don't need any processing if you have a good sample. And just turn it up on top of the mix like that. That's the other thing too, is like, before you start doing all this stuff to your kick to try to make it work, why don't you try just turning it up? Alright, then we got the bass line. So we're in the key of F sharp minor. This is our chord progression, right? We're going F sharp minor, A major, C sharp minor, D major. So like root, 3rd, 5th, 6th. You know, it's a pretty simple sort of walking up progression. Actually, normally I think you would do like this. Right? But this sounds a little bit different this way. It's a bit more unique. Also, that depends on what key you're in. Like, if we put it in this key, those are a little bit low. Maybe if this was like +1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so you see that it can work just depending on what key. The other thing here is the rolling bass line. I've noticed these guys tend to either have or straight 16th notes. So yeah, just keeping it really simple like that. We're not trying to overdo it with the patterns. I think all that stuff, you know, like this kind, like if we were to do like this. Yeah, it's a little too melodic techno afterlife. Just keep it really raw, simple, and it's going to make it a bit more emotional because it's not so overthought. Like, if you want your music to be emotional, stop overthinking with your emotions. So then after that, we got this patch and operator. I've got a low-pass filter, or I've got a saw wave, and then a little bit of a square wave doing some FM, going into a low-pass filter, which has a nice envelope on it. Here's without it. Obviously, to get the trance roll, that's what you want. And you can play with this too. This is really, like, a lot of people have asked how to get this bass. It's not in the oscillators. It's in the filter. Where the filter's at, the amount of envelope you have, and then the settings on the envelope. And then we're just side chaining that to the kick. And then we have our drums. So starting with our main drums up here, right? We just have this main hi-hat. So layering can be a really good way with this genre too, because we can get like this nice 909 crunchy old school hat, but then give it a underneath, and then you get super punchy old school hi-hat. Plus we got the clap. Right, these are like the main drums. You'll notice with this clap, the sample's actually really long. Like if I show you the sample, it's got a lot of tail, and then I'm just playing really short notes so that it just cuts really quick. Then we move up to some background stuff. I've got this house loop. It's literally like some house drums, and then you just high pass it, and then get it auto pan so it kind of sounds sidechain. Plus this one. With the same processing, but you can hear they're just slightly different. And then they create one thing, which is really important too. Like, a lot of people hate on using loops, but I mean, let me just turn them off and show you the difference. Here's without them. With them. It has so much more energy with them. So really, don't be afraid of using loops. I think that's another secret to this sound. You know, these people that made this music and kind of got known for it, I think they were very boldly doing a lot of things that other people might say don't do. You know, like don't use loops. They even don't make trance music in like 2019, 2020 when this stuff started seeding in the game, right? So it's like a lot of times you can win just for being willing to break rules. So then the last drum here is just this little hi-hat. Just filling in a little bit of space, and I got that auto pan as well, so it sounds sidechain. And that's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Definitely pick up Core Trance. The link is at the top of the description. It's the best way to support me so I can keep bringing you guys new videos like this every single day. Because really, YouTube does not pay that well at all. Let me tell you. But with this website and with packs like Core Trance, I'm able to keep going and keep showing you guys the stuff you want and need to learn in the game. Thanks for the support, everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow with another one.